Hey, my name is Vanessa, and I joined Social Media Blueprint about and hey, my name is Vanessa, and I joined Social Media Blueprint about ago. And just to give you some background, my experience in real estate before I joined was that I flipped two properties. So that was just about the extent of what I've done in real estate. And so since joining, I followed the blueprint. It really
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Day four. Despite some technical difficulties that we had this morning, no different than if you're working with a seller, obstacles will come up. I promise you this, they will. You probably know this from doing stuff in life. Obstacles will come up, but they're not going to stop us. We're going to keep pushing forward, and we are day four. We want to over deliver. So here's what we're going to do. Number one, we're going live right now to deliver what we should have delivered this morning, okay? So we're going to do this together right now. And in addition to that, we're going to do a bonus session, a super bonus session on Saturday, this coming Saturday, and we're going to go deep, okay? So we're going to make up some ground. We're going to make sure we keep moving this thing forward. We are steering the ship that we want for our real estate business, and we're moving this thing forward right now. So day four is called Go to Market. Go to Market. I want to make sure that I take this link and copy the link and get it over to the team. There we go. All right. So now let's do this. I want to do share screen, and I want to actually get into the content that we were missing this morning, okay? Here it is. Go to market. We need to get ready. The last 3 days, including Sunday, I guess, we've been working on basically building a pipeline of sellers or seller opportunity or wholesalers, deals for us to analyze, deals for us to actually put offers in on. And now what we've got to do is we've got to turn the corner. We had conversations yesterday with those sellers or those wholesalers, and now we're at the point where we need to turn the corner and start getting those deals out to the market, okay? Before we get into that, let me just celebrate a couple victories. Arlene, who's been here, she's been playing full out. She's been doing the homework, obviously, because yesterday she just got a yes. She got a yes to doing an option on a deal that she found during this challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, during this challenge, Arlene did this. Arlene did it. She said, received a verbal yes and a 5-day option. Profound pressure, but it's a good thing. Working on the paperwork right now. Congratulations, Arlene. That's how we do. That's how we roll. And remember, we've also got a couple folks yesterday. Scott got an actual contract signed. He got a contract signed during the challenge. And I found out on the VIP call, because Scott was on, that's real. That's like legit. He actually signed a contract. It wasn't just some post he put out there, but he signed a contract because of the challenge. If you can hear me okay, by the way, let me know in the chat. Just say, yay, I'm here. I want to make sure that audio is coming through, sound's coming through, no more technical difficulties. So my wife and I were in the middle of a move. Never planned like a big live online thing during the middle of a move. I was supposed to move in last week, but the seller had some delays, so it pushed it into this week. And like coordinating the movers and the internet, it's a challenge, just like this challenge right here, just like life, right? So I so appreciate you guys, all the positive comments, all the love, the support that you guys have thrown out inside the group, this community. I so appreciate you guys for hanging in there and continuing to push this thing forward. Let's keep rocking this, okay? Okay, cool. What I'm gonna do is we celebrated Scott. I wanna celebrate one more. I wanna celebrate Brad. Brad had this, but Brad posted this yesterday. Brad says, it's just me, or are my DMs blowing up since yesterday's homework? I have to admit, I had an appointment that caused him to miss VIP. He didn't get to the homework till last night, but he had several leads from minimal effort. Holy cow. This is the kind of stuff that's happening to our peers right now. So if you haven't done the homework, this is your friendly push reminder to get back there and do your homework, because we've got, I don't want to call it magic because it's not magic, but we've got stuff happening right now with our peers. Okay, so let's keep rolling. Okay, today the topic at hand that we're going to be covering right now is going to market. This is literally like learning how to market your deals to get the best buyers lined up to buy your deals. Now, I asked everybody on day one to choose a niche. I asked you to choose a niche because I know from being in this business long enough that the folks that are rocking at the highest possible levels, they choose a niche. They choose a niche. On one of the calls I had shared, one of the folks that we got a chance to work with and help them get to the social media frontier, they went from little tiny operation to now they're doing over 600 houses a year. Holy cow. But it's because partially, number one, they're good people and they work hard. But number two, they chose a niche. They chose a niche. They don't serve land development deals and then come over here and try to do commercial strip malls and then come over here and try to do, no. They have one niche. They work with landlords. That's their thing. That's who they serve. That's who they work with. And because of that, they become like the experts in their area. They're definitely the biggest in the state of Florida for single family houses. Probably one of the top 10 in the country right now because of what they're doing. 600 houses a year, that's a lot of properties. It's a lot of properties. Okay. So reminder, we're going to give away some prizes. Okay. We got prizes to give away and I still got more for tomorrow. And I'm going to give something pretty cool for the Saturday bonus session to make up for the tech difficulties that we had today. So Saturday's bonus session, we're giving away a lot more. Like I'm pulling out all the big guns, so to speak. But reminder, to be eligible for those prizes, you got to complete the homework daily. You got to play full out in this challenge. And you got to make sure you're registered with us. You register by doing two things. Number one, you go to 5dayflipformula.com and register. It's free there. And then you text the word flip to 941-265-8700. And if you want some accountability buddies, some challenge buddies in this thing, if you want someone to help hold your feet to the fire, make sure you either tag your friends to this stream so that they'll get the notification about it, or go ahead and register them at 5dayflipformula.com/live plus. Watch your email for homework. Today's prize winner, the first one, Anne-Marie. I think I saw Anne-Marie in the comments already. And the comments are coming so fast I may have missed it, but Anne-Marie, congratulations. I'm not sure which prize we're on, to be honest, but you could even pick your prize. What you want to do right now is just type I'm here, because you got to, well, we won't make everyone be live for this one because I had to change the time, but just type I'm here and tag Melissa Vasquez, V-A-S. She'll pop up in the group, V-A-S-Q-U-E-Z. I'm here, and tag Melissa Vasquez. And then Melissa will hook you up with one of the prizes. Prizes that we have are, and literally we're going into the training that we do for our highest end clients, our private client group, the folks that pay a lot of cash per year. Like no one's paid less than $5,000 to get access to trainings like this. And we're giving these away, different ones. One of them is on buyers on demand. So if you've got like gremlins about buyers, really good training to get. The next one is picking up the breadcrumbs from Zillow. Remember, Zillow's buying houses, but they're leaving a lot of sellers behind. There's a way to go in the market and sweep up those breadcrumbs and pick up 5 or 6 deals per month from just what they're doing out there. Really simple. We've got a training that unpacks that whole thing. We've got the SMB field kit. That's the field kit that's got the water bottle. It's got the water bottle on it. And it's also got the exact template that I use when I'm going on site with a seller with the checklist. So when I'm with the seller, I can literally say, hey, Mr. Seller, do you mind if I go through the checklist and make sure that I don't miss anything? It helps me to have the framework that's there so I know what to say and when to say it, okay? The other thing that we're giving away is the Private Money Masterclass. Those of you that want to get more private money for your deals, this is the class that you need. This is the class for sure. And then the other big one is it's called Turning Garbage Leads into Gold. A lot of people, they think because they called 5 sellers or 10 sellers and they all said no, they think that the leads are bad. But really what's probably happening, because this happens to me all the time. Like I had this newer student come through, his name's Eli. And Eli had probably 30, 31 leads. And he called me one day, he's like, I can't get any of them to convert. They're all bad leads. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Tell me about it. And just for fun, I said, hey, Eli, why don't you send me your list? and I text message all of his leads. I text them all, and I got 3 of them to reply to me using my text message sequence that I use, personal handwritten text, okay? Using that text, 3 of them replied to me. He ended up picking up 1 deal that brought him in a little over 30,000. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to go out and replicate exactly what Eli did and make that kind of cash, but I am saying like we were able to connect him with a really, really good seller from just doing a little bit of work the right way. Okay. So when people think that they're garbage leads, 9 out of 10 times, it's not that's the case. It's that they didn't know how to build trust with the seller. They didn't build the proper rapport with the seller. They didn't treat the seller like you treat your own mom if someone was going to be taking care of your mom buying her property. So there's a big difference there. Okay. Let's get back to the topic at hand. So your homework, remember, we email it out all the time, and additionally, we cover it on these broadcasts. But your homework is so important because this is, if you want transformation by the end of this week, it takes application, meaning you got to physically do to create this momentum. The momentum is not going to create itself. Okay. So if you're ready to get rocking right now and help this momentum go forward, type "I'm ready" in the chat. Remember, this is not a passive webinar. This is an active challenge. Type "I'm ready" in the chat. Okay? Cheer your peers on. I love what you guys are doing, cheering people on inside the group. When people are posting their "what are they fighting for" videos, I love seeing your comments on there. I love seeing your comments almost more than the video itself because you're cheering one another on. It takes that, especially when in this business, because when you walk out into the world, the rest of the world, they don't know about this like entrepreneurship thing. And sometimes it's even our loved ones, our spouses, our moms, our dads, our brothers, our sisters. When you decide to venture down a certain path, sometimes the loved ones around us, they're the ones that try to hold us back the most. And it's out of fear, it's out of love. Not because they don't want you to succeed, it's just because they don't know about that. They don't understand it. So we need this community. We need that support. Keep your positive energy. Keep your passion. I love it. Please keep it going, okay? Today's the day, in case you were wondering, today's the day where we really start to pull this stuff together, okay? We're pulling it all together now. There's really 3 steps to all of the income and all of the impact that you want for your business and for your life. We've covered the first 2. Today, we're gonna pull in that last step, okay? If you believe that this stuff can change your business and maybe your life, type 100 in the chat for me. Just 100, type 100 in the chat. The number will have significance later, okay? This business has allowed my wife and I to create the profit that we want for our company, for our team members, and additionally serve sellers. And we get to have fun doing it. So what I want to do is I also want to take assessment of the other things, the byproducts of the business. How many people have we saved from foreclosure? I wish I actually had the tally on this because I don't know and I don't want to misquote a number, but I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. We've had so many people call us right at the 11th hour. The lender's just about to take the property back, and then we step in and save their equity and get them a big check at closing, help them move to a new city. How many people have we saved from foreclosure? Okay, and the same thing it's the same thing that I want you to do. Like when you're in this business, serve from the heart first, and then amazing things will happen to you. Okay, and then you get to have fun doing this stuff. Now, what if there was one strategy that will help you take everything we've done so far in the beginning of this challenge? What if there's one strategy that would help you take the properties that you found, the conversations you've had with wholesalers, and now monetize it? Okay, there is. This is the finishing off of the HIT, the Home Invest Tribe strategy. Okay, this is what produces the Home Invest Tribe business owners. When you run our model, not trying to hack it on your own, because let's be honest, it's not something you're going to be able to go out and just hack. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. The people that are successful with this, they run a model really tight. Like, notice how many small business owners go out of business in their first 2 years. It's something like 9 out of 10. The stats are ridiculous. And why? It's because they don't have the right formula. They don't have the right model. So don't try to like hack this stuff together. Follow the formula start to finish. And if you do this with us, then you get your freedom from the 9 to 5. I just saw someone posted earlier, Karen Kelly. Karen, I can relate to your story. Karen's working 3 jobs right now. To make ends meet. She's gone through other different education things where they told her to put on Saul's armor and pick up Saul's sword. And at the end of the day, none of those things fit. Karen, I want you to get your slingshot, just like David did when David took down Goliath. David said no to Saul's armor. He got the slingshot and did what he knew how to do. He had to learn it at some point, but he did what he knew he needed to do, okay? Before I figured out this whole Home Invest Tribe stuff, I was a regular guy. I literally went through bankruptcy because I made some mistakes. I took the wrong partnership and got into a monster development deal that I never should have got into. I wasn't steering my own ship. Okay, it's kind of like those JV deals and side partnerships and things like that. Like the only kind of ship you can't steer is a JV or a partnership. Instead, you want to steer the ship. You want to be in control. That's for me. Like my wife and I, we're in control of what we do. And it's the same thing that we teach you. We want you to be in control of what you do. Now, after figuring out how to do this and be part of this Home Invest Tribe, after that, we've got 2 brands right now, literally at the top. And I don't say that in a boasting way. It's just what's happened to us. God's given us that blessing, and let's dive in. Let's get going, okay? I'm going to talk about first your best buyer. Best buyer works like this. Actually, let me give you the overview of today. Today, we're going to talk about best buyer. There's 3 keys to taking these properties that you found so far and then monetizing them. It's best buyer, it's gift wrapping, and it's going to market the right way. Let's dive in first to best buyer, okay? Best buyer, we're going to go over here. This is my note to draw this out for you, and I'm going to need some participation in this one. We're going to need some participation. So for the folks that are on with me, you got to help me with this. I'm going to draw this. I want you to tell me, we got 3 different types of buyers here. I know there's more. There's more than 3 different types of buyers. Like we could add land development people, builders. We could add VRBO, vacation type people that buy properties. We could add a lot on here, but we're going to stick to these 3 primarily, okay? Now, I want you to tell me in the chat if each of these people, let's just say they had $200,000 cash to work with. 200K. Each of them has 200K. And they buy a property from you. And then the flipper, what they're going to do is they're going to fix it. Let me actually do it like this so that I don't mess that up. They each have 200. 200. Okay. The flipper buys the property from you. They've got to rehab it. They've got to list it for sale. And then they've got to actually sell it. They got to get a contract on it. And then that contract has to close. Long process. How long is that process from start to finish before they get their money back? How long is that process? You guys tell me. How long does it take them? How long does it take them to go from 0 to getting their money back in their pocket, their $200,000? How long does that flipper take them? Okay, let me see the comments over here. 120 days, 120 days. You can tell me in months. Kim says up to 6 months. Roger says 6 months. Jeremy says 60 to 90 days. All can be right answers. Part of it is how big is the project? How skilled are they? Do they have good crews? All that kind of stuff. The average flipper right now, because it takes about 60 to 90 days just to rehab the house. They got to get permits. They got to do everything right. New kitchens, new bathrooms, roof, whatever they're doing. So it's at least a couple months just for the rehab. But then guess what? They list it for sale. How long is that? They got to sit on market for a while. Now, let's just say that they're in a hot market. Let's just say that they get it done in 2 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that. We're still 3 or 4 months in. And then when they get a buyer, that doesn't mean the buyer is going to close right away. The buyer is using financing. So they got to go through appraisal. They got to go through inspection. They got to go through title. And guess what? That adds another 45 to 60 days on. So now, like those folks that are saying 6 to 8 months, that's right in there. Okay. So about 6 months. So how many deals can the flipper do in 1 year with the same money? Same 200 grand. How many deals can the flipper do in 1 year? We're going to do the same thing now with a landlord in a minute, and then we're going to do similar with a retail buyer. But how many deals in 1 year can the flipper do with the same money? What do you guys think? You guys are saying 2. I see 2. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll go with that. Landlord. Is a landlord going to do a brand new kitchen gut rehab? Are they going to do a brand new bathrooms every time? Are they going to do the same renovation that a flipper's doing? The answer is no. They're going to come in. They're going to probably do paint, carpet, maybe paint the cabinets at most. It's going to be much lighter. Okay. That renovation is usually weeks. I was a landlord and I've done hundreds of landlord renovations, literally hundreds of landlord renovations. And I know what it took. Like we were in and out. Splash and dash is what the contractors always called it. And so for that one, it's less than a month. And then for a landlord to get their money back, what they usually do is they go to the bank and they do a cash out refinance. It's kind of like if you've ever like taken out a home equity line of credit where the bank says, oh, you got equity in your property. Let me send an appraiser and then we'll do a loan. The process is really fast, especially if they're already pre-approved. So the process for a landlord to get their money back is roughly about 3 months. Okay. How many deals can this landlord do in a year with the same money if they pull their money back? How many deals can the landlord do in a year with the same money? What do you think? Okay, there's another component to this as well. Those of you that are saying 4, you're spot on. Okay, now there's another component to this. Let me finish retail though. Retail, you just tell me like a retail buyer who's going to move into the property, who got like they maxed out their borrowing capacity. How many deals in a year can they do with the same money? How many deals can a retail buyer do with the same money? They're probably spending all of their down payment to get into the property. They probably maxed out their debt to income ratio when they bought the property because nobody lives under their means these days. Everyone tries to go right to the top. The lender says you're approved for 400 and you spend all 400 of it. Okay. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Thomas. One is the retail buyer. Now, just from this, who, if you're in business, if you're a business owner and you want to have repeat customers, so you don't have to like build new relationships every time and run ads or do work to acquire a new customer, just from this, who is the best buyer here for you? Who is the best buyer from a pure business standpoint that you would like to serve? Who would you want to serve? The person that can buy 2 properties in a year, 1 property per year, or 4 properties per year? Who's the best buyer here? We're going to take this one level deeper as well. Yeah, Jeremy, spot on. Roger, spot on. Thomas, spot on. It's the landlord all day long, every day of the week. Now, there's another reason for this too. I wanted to keep it super simple with this, but there's another reason for this too. The landlord buyer, they will pay more than the flipper because the flipper, they have to buy it at a bigger discount because they've got to account for a bigger renovation and they've got to account for paying realtors on the back end. The realtors, that's like 6%. That's a big one. And then that bigger renovation, that's usually another 10, sometimes 15%. Like the flipper buyer has to buy it cheaper. So therefore, when you bring the property to the flipper buyer, they're going to ask you for a discount. They're going to try to buy it cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. Now, I'm not saying that I would never wholesale to a flipper, but I am saying this. I usually wholesale the landlords for a reason because I can make the margins work. I can say yes to a seller that says, hey, I really need this price. Whereas if the seller was stuck at their number and I only have flipper buyers, I might not be able to make a deal happen. So my landlords are my best. Now, what about the retail buyer, Nate? Won't they pay more? Yeah, oftentimes they will. Oftentimes they'll pay more than anybody, but they're using financing. It's going to slow down the transaction. Might even fall apart, because when the lender realizes that it's going from one person to you to a buyer, sometimes lenders get a little bit skittish about that. And so therefore, I don't focus on retail buyers. I remember a long time ago, I had my real estate license in Minnesota, and my partner in business, she was driving around a retail family, looking at houses and stuff, trying to do the whole realtor thing. And she went out with them for 4 weekends in a row. And then at the end of all of it, the buyer said, "Oh, we're going to work with a different agent." And she never got any commission out of it. So she worked for a month for free out of it. I'm just like, I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm doing that. And I don't want to do it as an investor either. Like, I'm going to work with people that are repeat clients that I can build a relationship once with and then keep rocking right on through. Okay, so good. You guys recognize that. We're going to go for landlord buyers. Like, you don't have to copy the niche that I'm steering you down, but I'm steering you down this for a reason. I want you to have as much success as humanly possible. And for me, it's the landlord buyer, okay? So stick to a niche that is going to serve you, serve your family, and serve the people that you're working with. Now, that doesn't mean on the front end, let's just say that you're a probate specialist. You said, "Nate, I chose probates. That's who I'm working with. Those sellers that are going through grief, I can serve them." Great, you go serve them. On the back end, when you go to sell, your niche can be different. And it probably should be different if your front end niche is probate. Okay, I'm talking about the backside. The backside, when you go for buyers, I am looking for my landlords. My flipper buyers, they're nice, but they're not my primary target. The exception to that is if I start getting up into like the 400,000, 500,000, even $1 million homes, then sometimes the rent doesn't go up high enough for a landlord to justify the purchase price. And then I'll look for flipper buyers. But 9 out of 10 times I'm looking for a landlord buyer. I even have one landlord buyer. He's a doctor, likes to buy really nice houses near Lake Calhoun in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he bought a house off me for around $600,000. Landlord buyer, $600,000. So like, I'm going to look for a landlord buyer first. Stick with the niche though. And the other thing about sticking to a niche is that you're going to learn how to serve them better than anybody else. You'll be sitting with the seller and you'll already be thinking about the numbers that your buyer is going to be looking at. Like, that's the in-depth level that I want you to be able to serve them. Learn them so well that you know them better than anyone else by far. Okay. Cool. I want to talk about key number 2. This is gift wrapping. Think Christmas time here. Okay. We got to do this really cool thing called Toys for Tenants. So we used to have a lot of rental properties. Those of you that got to meet Kate on our team, Kate was instrumental in this. This is a picture of Kate wrapping presents and my wife and mother-in-law out shopping and all that kind of stuff. But we would go every year into our tenants. We would give our tenants Christmas gifts. And it was just a way to like really build some good rapport and connection and just have fun. But the one thing that I noticed about this was that the tenant, the children, when they would get the gift wrap paper, it was like, what's in the box? What's the surprise? I remember one year we had them physically all come to our office and we had like a Christmas party. So all the tenants came in and all the kids were just like staring at the mountain of Christmas presents. What's in there? What's in there? And I remember even as a kid, for me, like whatever Christmas morning was, I'd get up at 5 a.m. and I'd go downstairs and I'd be like shaking boxes and getting excited about it. What is it about that? Like if there was just a box of like, you know, a puzzle or Play-Doh underneath the Christmas tree with no wrapping on it, the suspense wouldn't be there. The presentation wouldn't be quite right. And I want you to remember that, like, as we go into this phase here right now, I want you to remember the presentation that creates this like effect, this gift wrapping effect. And that's the fun part about it, okay? Now me, I didn't learn presentation for business until I got into business. Literally, this is me when I was a youngster. I grew up in this property. My parents still live there. My dad is a guy that with his spare time, he likes to buy cars, old cars that need fixing up, and then buy ATVs or snowmobiles that need fixing. And then he puts them at the end of his driveway and he puts a little for sale sign on it and he sells it. That's my dad, okay? So like when I grew up, I didn't learn what like fancy, this is how you this is like gift wrapping presentation. This is what no, I didn't learn that. Okay. My dad just kind of showed me that you just kind of put it at the end of the drive when you put a for sale sign up, and someone will come along and probably buy it if you're priced right. Okay, well, cool. Well, then enter the next phase of my life. I met this gentleman. This is Mr. Berger. Okay. Mr. Berger, he came from the opposite world where like suit and tie, presentations. In fact, like here in this picture where we went out and played polo together, it's the first and only time I've ever played it. But when we played polo together, notice how the polo sticks are up in the air. I cannot tell you how many times he made us retake that photo because he wanted it to be perfect. He wanted to look good. He wanted the polo sticks up in the air. Like he wanted this perfect presentation with it. And it kind of drove me nuts. I remember the day that we took this photo, notice the pocket square. I had never had a pocket square in my life before I met Mr. Berger. But Mr. Berger wanted everything to be really, really nice gift wrapped. Okay. Everything mattered. Every little detail. Like even before I met Mr. Berger, the day that I got to meet Donald Trump Jr. and political stuff aside, like it was a real estate thing. The day that I got to meet him, look at how poorly dressed I was. I was wearing a wool coat, a wool jacket. Okay. I was sweating like a pig, literally a wool jacket over a blue shirt that had a white collar on it. And then I had these big goofy looking, like, you know, when the collar pops out on your shirt and it doubles back and then you have to wear cufflinks. I didn't have cufflinks. I didn't even have cufflinks. So they were sticking out of my wool jacket. It looked ridiculous. And then Mr. Berger comes along and then all of a sudden I'm like gift wrapped nicely. Okay. There's a reason that I'm sharing this to you. Notice the little thing right here. I know I didn't zoom in very much, but the branded shirt. Now you don't have to go to that extreme, but this presentation of a property matters. Okay. This is a little branded shirt right here. And then this is Mr. Berger and his wife. Great people, by the way, incredible people. I love them. They're like my second mom and dad family. Like I to this day, I have so much affinity and love for them. But it was Mr. Berger that really taught me this importance of gift wrapping stuff. And so when we're talking about this, I want to specifically talk about it for properties now. Okay. The way that we package something up and give it to our buyer matters. They want it gift wrapped. The days of kind of like selling like my dad, like this, these days, like you can do that, but you're not going to command attention. Not at all. You're not going to get the number of eyes looking at it, because when you look at a for sale like this versus a really nicely done brochure, the eyes that are attracted to it are quite different. If you're cool making like lowest bottom of the barrel wholesale prices, okay, you can do it like my dad does. He wholesales it, he makes a little bit of money, and he goes on and does the next thing, and that's his thing. But if you're looking to do properties and get maximum dollars out of it from buyers, you've got to attract the right buyers, people kind of like Mr. Berger. Mr. Berger is going to look at stuff that is interesting looking to him, and it's got to look nice. It's got to have the right presentation, okay? So when we talk about this, what I want to do is I actually want to go into a property brochure. I'm not going to like spend a year on this or anything like that, but I'm literally sharing with you. Let me make sure that this is coming through. I'm going to blow this up even a little bit more for you. Okay. The glow up. You guys are awesome. The glow up. Okay. So this is a property brochure. This is not overly fancy, but it's better than the way that kind of like my dad does it, putting the car at the end of the driveway and putting a for sale sign on. Okay. Instead, what we've done is we've taken a property and we've made it into our own version of kind of like a listing. Okay. It's got the address. It's got a photo of the property. This is just a Google Doc. It's a Word document. It's nothing overly fancy, but it's way better than the garbled mess that most people that claim to be in the wholesale business for real estate do. Most of them are going to send out some stupid email with an address and a couple of numbers that are not even remotely accurate, like ARV is $9 million. Like they're not going to take the time to really put in love and to make this gift wrap brochure. And I want you to do the opposite. I want you to start gift wrapping your properties. I want you to take the extra time. It's going to take you an extra 20 minutes to do this once you get the rhythm of these. The first one might take you 3 hours. It might take you 2 days for all I know. Probably took us that long when we made our first one, but now it takes 20 minutes to do, okay? Put a little bit of information about the area, put when it needs to close. If it's a cash deal, if it's a finance deal, you got to have that. Some of the things that we have on here, remember going back to the day that we gathered intel on the properties, I explained to you that we go to trulia.com. This is for our niche. We look at the crime stats. So this is right on the brochure, okay? I want to show them like, hey, like what I preach is true. I'm going to give you the link right here. I'm not going to send you a property that I don't stand for. That's not what I do. I stand for this type of property. I serve you with this type of property. I'm not going to send you something in a bad area. So here it is. You go ahead and click the link and see it yourself. Okay. Remember, I also taught you on Gather Intel Day that we like to look at the Google Street View. Remember, I told you, like, when I'm walking up and down the street, I'm looking for evil, looking to see if there's anything wrong. Are there bars on windows, things like that, boarded up buildings, etc.? And I'm going to put it right on here. I'm going to share it. Okay. Next thing, property tax information. We always go straight to the county, and we download it right from the county. Usually you can do a PDF printout or a PDF file of some kinds. We have that right there. What about the lease? Remember, I serve landlords. That's my niche. I buy from landlords and I sell to landlords. So oftentimes my properties, they're occupied. So I want my landlord buyer to see the lease. So there's the lease right there. Boom. Okay. Photos of the property. That's a must. I got to have photos. Now, what if you don't have photos yet? Then get somebody out there and take photos. Okay. Don't let that be a roadblock of you getting this deal done. Get somebody out there and take photos. Well, Nate, I'm not local. I'm not on the ground. Neither am I most of the time. Neither is Kate most of the time. But guess what? We still get photos each time. Sometimes we'll get the seller to take them. Sometimes we'll pay somebody off of Craigslist. There's a photography section literally on Craigslist, and we'll get somebody off Craigslist to go take pictures for 30 or 40 bucks. Like, there's ways to get photos. Just don't let that be the roadblock for you. A rent quote, since we serve a certain niche, our niche is landlord buyers, then we get rent quotes for them. We just email a local property manager and say, hey, if we get this one and refer it over to you and our buyer buys it, how much would you rent it for? Not very hard, not very complicated. It's one level above. That's the bow on top of the present, okay? That just made it sparkle. It's one level above. What about comps? Yep, we got them. We ask a local realtor to run them for us. We pay him from time to time by either giving him a listing, or we might even pay him a fee. I don't even know how we're doing it right now, but we make sure we take care of them. Like, there's plenty to go around this business to take care of the people that are on your team. So we got comps. And then we've got projections. We've got what is it rented for currently? And then we've got a projection based on what the property management company told us. If they said, hey, it's going to rent for $1,350, then we put in the $1,350 number so that we can show them kind of a before, or this is what it looks like today, and this is what it might look like if you do what you need to do to increase the rents, do some improvements to the property, and there you go. Take out the tenants that are in there and put in new tenants at market rate. And then we have a little bit of information on how they can purchase it. How is this? Do you think you can do this? Can you put together a property brochure like this to really gift wrap it for your buyers? Let me know in the chat. Can you do this? Can you take it that extra level and make yours stand out? Make your deals appeal to Mr. Berger. Make Mr. Berger proud. Can you do that? I think you can. Absolutely, I think you can. It's not that much. Anne-Marie says yes. Katie says the glow up. Kim says absolutely. Okay, good. Good. All right, let's keep rocking here. Leon says yes. John says yes. Jim says yes, I can do it. Absolutely. Thumbs up from Lex. Okay, cool. All right, was that helpful? I'm just literally like trying to give you everything that we do. I don't want to miss this stuff. I want you to make sure that you really can rock this. Okay, property brochure we covered. Now, the next step. Let's go to market. Okay, we got our property. We got all the information. We're ready to go to market now. Okay, the first place that we're going to go, I'm embarrassed slightly, but I'm going to take you off of social media for a second because I want to show you the free methods first. There's a free method on social as well, several. But when we go to Craigslist, it's this site, literally it's craigslist.com or craigslist.org. You go into the city that you're in. The cities are listed over here. If you don't see your city, click on states first and then find your city. And then once you're in here, you're going to literally just create a posting, okay? You're going to pick the county that your property's in. You're going to go to housing offered. And then you're going to go to real estate by owner, assuming you are an owner and not a broker, okay? Now my posting title, this matters right here. This matters. People stroll, investors, landlord buyers, and flip buyers, they're going through Craigslist daily. Not everyone every single day, but daily there is a landlord or a flipper buyer looking at Craigslist postings. Okay, well, we're just going to say, hey, whatever the property is, I got a fixer upper with tenants. Okay, it's in Cape Coral, Florida. Okay, and then I'm going to type the zip code, whatever the zip code is. I don't know what it is. 34233. Okay, description. This fixer upper, and I'm using the word fixer upper because I'm assuming it needs some renovation. If it didn't need any renovation, then I might say like turnkey, something like that. But I'm going to use some terms that get the attention of investors. Fixer upper is one of them. This fixer upper needs a little TLC, and then the rent can likely jump from $950 where it is today to $1350 per the property manager we spoke with. Must be comfortable taking over the month-to-month lease that the current tenant has. Why am I doing that? I am screening out the flippers and I'm attracting the landlords. I'm saying, hey, landlords, if you're comfortable taking over an existing tenant lease, then this is for you. This is all yours. So I'm calling it out. Price, whatever I'm going to price it at. So I can go back to the brochure. My pricing, like we've had some questions on this too, like, well, how much should I make off of it? It really depends on how good of a deal you got. Like if you got an amazing deal, you deserve to get paid really well. If it's not that good of a deal, your margin might have to be a little tighter. I won't do a deal unless we can bring home 10, not $10, but 10,000. Now, sometimes we might go a little bit less because we're trying to really take care of the seller or whatever the situation is. But to be in business, there are costs. We have to get paid for what we do. So I don't want anyone undercutting yourself either. There's plenty of deals out there. You're providing immense value in this marketplace, connecting buyers and sellers, saving people from foreclosure, helping them move on with their lives. So you're providing immense value to the selling side and you're providing immense value to the buying side because let's face it, if buyers right now go out with their realtor, what are they going to get? Multiple offers, craziness, insane terms. They don't like it. They would much rather work with you. They would much rather work with you. You're providing so much value. Don't let anybody take that away from you. If you get a gremlin that pops in your head that's like, oh, I only deserve, no. I am here to squash it, okay? I do not want you having those gremlins. You deserve to get paid, okay? Cool. So that's Craigslist. By the way, after you do this, you're going to upload some pictures. You'll answer the rest of the questions that they have right here. And then the next page is the upload of the photos. I do recommend uploading as many photos as you can. And then once you do that, then it's going to send you an email, which you'll have to click to confirm. Click that, confirm it. Okay, now your post is live on Craigslist. Guess what? You're going to start getting inquiries. If your price is at all interesting, you will get inquiries. People will be coming to you. Buyers will be coming. Okay. Well, Nate, I don't have my property under contract yet. Go get it under contract. Go get it under contract. Well, Nate, I don't have the contract yet. Guess what? I just jumped into a brand new market this week too. You know what I do? Okay. Here's what I do. Google. I just jumped into Tennessee. Tennessee purchase agreement. look at this. Let's get past the ads. And I'll go down here. Tennessee purchase agreement. Now, there's going to be like 10 different sites that try to sell me the contract. I'm just going to look for a free one to start off. Okay. This is a free one. It's got a watermark on the back, so I'm not going to use that one. But I bet you I'll find one in here. Not that one. And what I'm going to do once I find one is before I like physically close a deal with someone, I'm going to bring it to the real estate attorney. I'm going to spend $200 to $300 to make sure it's right. I'm not going to skip that step. Okay. There's some expense in this business. Okay. Don't cut corners on the important stuff. If I'm going to do a deal that I'm going to make $10,000 off of, am I okay spending $200 to $400 to make sure that my documents are right? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to. Okay. So that's how I put it under contract. I'm going to hit one clause just because it's on my mind, and we didn't get to cover this yet, but make sure you have a generous inspection period in your clause in your purchase agreement. But Nate, I'm working with a wholesaler. They won't give me an inspection. Well, that might not be the deal for you. Or try to do a purchase option. Arlene did a purchase option yesterday. That way there, you're not tying up the wholesaler at all. You're only bringing value to the wholesaler. If you're working direct with a seller, though, it's really easy to get a long inspection period. Direct to seller, it's like no problem at all. Okay, but you find one. This one I got to do a little bit of digging. Sometimes I'll put the word PDF right here. And then look at that. I just got myself a Tennessee purchase agreement right there by putting PDF. Okay, so there we go. Let's keep going. All right, so Craigslist was the first spot. Facebook Marketplace, you go to literally facebook.com/marketplace. That's facebook.com/marketplace. And similarly, you're going to type in and do the listing. Now, the way that Facebook works, it's geographic based. So if you're doing a remote market, you might have to change in your profile for you to be in that city. Okay, then Facebook Marketplace will work better for you. But follow the same procedures. Use the same headline. Okay, property needs TLC. Property is a fixer-upper. Landlords only. Use phrases that will catch the attention of your niche buyer. Don't try to like make it realtor talk. Oh, this charming 3-bedroom, 2-bath cottage. No, cut all that stuff because that's like realtor talk. That's what the retail market's looking for. We're looking for a buyer that is our niche. Okay, landlords only, landlord special, investors only, investor deal, investor special, fixer upper, needs TLC. Okay, those kind of phrases. All right, so that's Facebook Marketplace. Next thing, and this is going to be actually part of the homework, is I'm going to challenge you, and I'm also going to give you an invite to help you with this because we've had so many inquiries come in on helping you with this part of it. It's something that we got to spend more time on, and I got to bring more people on. But start your own niche group. You went into everybody else's group. They got one. Why can't you have one? Why can't you have one that you bring your ideal niche buyer to or your niche seller to? What's stopping you from that? But Nate, there's already 19 groups in my area. I don't care. There's probably 20 or 30 in my area. And guess what? We still have groups and we still bring in the people that we want. Still do. Guess what? You're on this challenge with me. Are there other people out there that teach real estate? Yeah, there are. There's a lot of them. Do they all click with you and I? Do they have the same values that you and I do? Is it the same niche that you and I are looking at? A lot of times the answers to those are no. And so it's the same thing when we're marketing to a specific seller or a specific buyer. Doesn't matter how many other things are out there. Like you be you. Okay. Now filling that group, that's the part that you probably need some help with. We don't have time to do it today on this broadcast, but that's why I'm going to give you an invite to something kind of cool that we're going to do next week. Okay. And then the last thing that you can do is you can run ads. Facebook will give you options to boost stuff. I don't recommend boosting posts. That's just not a good use of funds, but running an actual Facebook ad can be. That's the way to like go really fast if you don't want to do the manual work. Okay. Jessica says she loves gift wrapping. I love that. Awesome, Jessica. Cool. All right, let's keep rocking. Now, this is a beautiful little photo Mr. Berger took. Look at that setting in the background. Like, he totally planned that perfectly. This is the little touches that Mr. Berger always liked to have, and I have to say I love it. I do. I'm just not that person in my core. It was never me. So I learned this. Okay? Now, because of becoming part of this HIT family, the Home Invest tribe, right now, my wife and I, we have more financial impact, and we're living the life that we really wanted to live right now. Okay. There were times when I didn't, though. Like when I hit rock bottom, I told you guys about that on Sunday. Like, I was stressed beyond belief. I worked so hard. I had to ask my wife to start cleaning houses. And then when we really figured out this business, this is when we started getting the financial impact that we wanted, the business that we wanted. Okay. We started getting elite people like this gentleman, Ron LeGrand. He ended up getting referred to us from one of his students, who's one of my students. And Ron's like, he's a legend in the space. And he asked us to put up ads for him and start running actual sellers to him in Jacksonville, Florida. And then eventually he put us in front of his thousands of students across the country. He's one of the most influential people in the space. And so we started getting elite people that were talking, saying nice stuff about us. People, sellers and buyers, they will buy or sell from people that they know, like, and trust. And so for you, the most effective way, and for some of you, this might even be the only way to do this, to make deals happen in 2021, is to have the perfect structure for them coming in. Okay? Niching. It will beat a web page. It will beat some silly lead magnet. It will beat any, like, I don't want to say bad things about like some of the marketing tactics that are out there, but when you be you and you really niche down, it's going to beat all of the other marketing tactics that are out there by far. People crave authenticity right now. People crave real. They want you to be you. I just watched one of our guys. I introduced you to Randy a couple days ago on a slide. Actually, his partner Laura, I introduced her on a slide, and her partner Randy, really good dude. God bless that man. Randy did a video, and he did this video ad where the wind was blowing in the background. He didn't have a microphone plugged in. It sounded terrible. It did. Sounded absolutely horrendous. And he sent it to me, and I'm like, he's like, Nate, you got any feedback on this? And I'm like, where do I begin? Where do I begin? How do we fix this thing? And I gave him some pointers, and I actually gave him a microphone for his next time. But you know what? They ran that ad, that video ad. They ran that video ad. They spent $700 in ad spend, $700, okay? And they turned around and pulled a deal with more than 30,000 profit. 30,000 profit. Now, I'm, again, like, legal disclaimer, I do not want anyone thinking like, hey, you're just going to go out and copy exactly what Randy did and then make 30 grand. No, like, Randy put in the work. He put in the time. Him and Laura worked really hard at it, but they spent 700 to make 30,000, like, on a terrible video, absolutely terrible, but he was him. In that video, he was him. He was real to the core. Okay. That's what matters the most right now. This is Lou Brown. We got a chance to run ads for Lou. And then Lou, he's got over 300 licensees that buy houses across the country. And then he introduced us to them. So it's really, really cool. But one thing that Lou always says, and I want you to remember this when you're talking with sellers and working with them, is don't think for the seller. What Lou means by that is when you're actually working with the seller, it's tempting for us to insert words like, oh, you probably don't want our cash offer. It's too low, right? Or seller financing won't work for you, right? No. What Lou always says is don't think for the seller. Don't do that. No, you just have a conversation. See what they feel is right. You're just there to dialogue and help find the best solution, but don't do the thinking for them, okay? But what about ordinary people? Like those of you that maybe say, well, Nate, I don't have tech skills for this stuff. Like, you guys have seen what we've done so far, literally, like with Craigslist, with Facebook Marketplace. This is not super techie stuff. Even if you have to skip the brochure and do it the way my dad does it, where you just like skip the fancy stuff, You don't have to be super sophisticated with this stuff. Here's someone I want to introduce you to. This is my mother-in-law, Anna. She's an ordinary grandma. She goes back and forth from South America to come and stay with us. When she's with us, she loves playing with her grandbaby. She's got two. She's got my older son, 7-year-old Bianco, and she's got my younger son, Jean. He's 8 months, and she loves playing with them, but then she likes to also be busy doing stuff. So guess what? We put up this site for her, Abuela Compra Casas. Abuela Compra Casas. Grandma buys houses in Spanish. And Grandma loves it. Grandma's not tech savvy. Grandma's jamming with sellers. Like, look at this. She's there jamming with sellers. This is a quick photo that I snapped. Doesn't have all the tech stuff. She doesn't let it bother her. She just jumps in, takes action. I want the same for you, okay? Just take action, okay? So are you convinced yet is my question, because tomorrow we're coming in and we're going to monetize this stuff. Tomorrow is the day for that, okay? And then Saturday, we're doing a bonus session. We're going to make up some ground for what we lost this morning. So Saturday, we're doing a bonus session, okay? I'm pulling up some of the best questions that we've had so far, and I'm going to really help push on Saturday. But are you convinced yet? That's what I want to know. Do you think you want to become part of this HIT community, this Home Invest tribe, being an ethical home buyer, treating people right while earning a profit? I promise to turn you into HITs, Home Invest tribe members. How many of you here right now feel like you're on the path? Just type me in the chat. How many feel like you're on the path to getting there? Okay. If you're open to being open book with sellers, it's way different than probably anyone else has ever taught you. But I know I've done the research. I watched Open Door rise from nothing to dominance, 10,000 plus houses in a 4-year window. They were transparent. They were open book. Are you okay being open book with sellers? Are you okay treating people how you'd want someone to treat your own mom if they were buying your mom's house? Okay, so for some of us, to really do this right, we got to get rid of Saul's armor. We got to shed it because it just wasn't the right tool for us. It might have been the right tool for them at that time, but it's not the right tool for us. Instead, we have to pick up the slingshot like David. If we're going to go take down Goliath, we've got to learn how to shoot our own slingshot. What tends to happen now is that objects in motion stay in motion. Stuff at rest stays at rest. We've been creating this motion this week, this momentum this week. And I don't want that momentum to go to rest. I do not at all, okay? We've been working so hard, and I want to make sure that we continue this momentum. If you want to continue this momentum, please type momentum in the chat. Momentum. Because I can't let you stop your momentum. I would be a bad coach if we work this hard to create the momentum and I let you stop it, okay? All you need to do this, by the way, smartphone and a Facebook account. A smartphone and a Facebook account. You don't need fancy bells and whistles. You need a smartphone and a Facebook account. And you got to be clear in your niche. You got to build trust with sellers, make offers to them, and then do the stuff that we're doing in our homework. That's it. Okay? We got Thomas momentum, John momentum, Terry momentum, Patsy momentum. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Now, I got a homework assignment for you. And I got a little bit more to cover. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Okay. The homework, I'm going to switch over to the homework slide because I got to keep you in momentum. And I'm going to open something up for you. Next week, we're planning something for you guys. So the homework is this. Where'd my homework slide go? Oh, you weren't supposed to see the prize winners yet. But I'm going to do it anyway since we're already here. 2 prize winners. 2 prize winners. We're giving out. Graham is tuned in from Australia. He's been up late at night, like 3 in the morning for him, and he's been showing up, like playing full out. Graham, you have won one of the prizes. Graham, when you see this, because I imagine you're probably resting by now, but when you see this, type in I'm here in the chat and then tag Melissa Vasquez and we'll hook you up. Arlene Hicks, same for you. Congratulations, you are a prize winner. Type in I'm here and tag Melissa Vasquez and we'll hook you up with one of the prizes, okay? I wasn't supposed to do that one, but I got mixed up in my slides. So this is Chad, by the way. Chad is, he's a graduate of our program. And Chad's sitting uniquely down in Medellin, Colombia right now. Like literally, I'd love to be there right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. And he's raising his kids abroad. He wants them to be like cultured and all that kind of stuff. He's doing deals in Kansas City, Missouri right now. Kansas City, Missouri, okay? And I'm pointing out Chad because some of you are like, well, my market's tough, or I live in a different country, or whatever it is. Graham's here from Australia right now. Chad's rocking it from South America, totally rocking it. So I just want to open up that possibility in your mind, okay? Now, disclaimer, Chad puts in work. He puts in work. Anyone that I'm highlighting to you, they put in work. I don't know your exact personal situation, so I can't say you're going to go out there and like copy exactly what they're doing, but if there's possibility, because I'm seeing it over and over and over again. Next week, we're going to go deep. We're going to do something pretty fun. My team has been going through so many questions and so many emails. Like, you guys are playing full out this week, and I love it. I love this energy. But what we're getting questions of like, how do I actually say this to a seller? How do I actually like execute the details? How do I have a conversation? Can I practice with you? Can I go through my numbers with you and doing a deal evaluation on this thing? And we're getting questions like that. And I didn't design this challenge to like have that kind of capacity. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to open up for challengers only a 2-day event next week. Okay. It's going to work like this. It's going to be on Friday next week and Saturday. Friday and Saturday next week. So a little bit more than 1 week from today. You got plenty of time to plan. You don't want to miss this. Let me actually go through some of the stuff that's on it. The way that it works is this, by the way. I'm going to let everybody come for $47, which is a refundable deposit that you get back after you attend 2 full days. Okay, so you put up a deposit of $47. This isn't like some trick where you're signing up for a long-term service or anything like that. It's literally like, I don't want $1 from this. I don't care to make any money from this. I want you to stay in momentum. I want you to get the business goals that you want, because I know what will happen is this. There will be a percentage of people that when they're getting momentum and they're getting results, there will be a percentage of people that want to work with our team. I just know it. I know it. I know that someday you'll probably bring me some properties. I know that will probably happen some way, shape, or form. So I don't want you to lose your momentum. So what we're doing is next week, Friday and Saturday, you come for a refundable deposit of $47. As long as you're there for the 2 full days, which I will be there, I will be playing full out. As long as you're there for the 2 full days, we will refund the $47. Now, if you take someone's seat and you don't show up, then we're going to keep the $47. The $47 is like your accountability, okay? But if you come, you play full out for 2 days, and let me help you continue this momentum, let me help you launch this business, then you're in, man. You're in, no charge whatsoever. You get to get your $47 back, and you get 2 days. Think of it like this. It's 2 days of essentially VIP. Like if you miss VIP this round, or if you're on VIP right now and you know that it was pure gold. By the way, who is in VIP that thinks that it's been pretty valuable? Has VIP helped anyone here? Let us know in the chat. Because this event that's going to happen Friday and Saturday next week, it's like VIP the whole time. We're literally on Zoom. I can talk with you. You can talk with me. You can turn your camera on if you want to. You don't have to. You can turn your mic on so we can have conversations. We can help you dialogue on what you're going to say and how you're going to say it to a seller. So then instead of just sort of, oh, there's a lot of VIPs. Gloria says VIP is the way to go. Shannon, VIP immensely. Thank you. Victor says yes. Heather says yes. Deborah says yes. Thank you. Thank you. The team's worked really hard to help me pull this all together. So it means a lot. Thank you. So next week, it's like 2 days of VIP, 2 days. And this is what I know, like we're doing spurts. We're doing an hour roughly a day, a little bit more than an hour a day. And we're getting results. Like I'm already seeing it. People are getting deals. We've got some people have got contracts already. So we're getting results. But sometimes people need a little bit more. Like, how do I say it? How do I perfect talking to a seller? Next week, I'm bringing on Peter Hagen. Peter Hagen is the founder of The Art of the Heart. This man is brilliant. He's the man that says, if you're going to meet with a seller, treat them how you want someone else to treat your mom if your mom was alone selling a house. Beautiful. He's going to do hot seats with us. He's going to take you, if you want to volunteer to actually script stuff out, he's going to volunteer and he's going to help critique how we're talking. We're going to be doing some Zoom breakout rooms so that we can get a little more attention one-on-one. You can talk with me. I can talk with you. We're doing a Q&A session. We're taking all the missing components from the challenge that we know that you guys are asking for right now, and we're giving it next week, okay? So that to get there, by the way, you just go to reiaccelerator.com. Sorry, REI Accelerator Summit. REI Accelerator Summit. So go ahead and go there now. REI Accelerator Summit. I will put that in the comments if it will let me. And then if you could help me too by posting it, because sometimes when you're streaming, it doesn't allow, it doesn't always go through from the person that's posting. But if you could put that in the comments, I would appreciate that. If a few people could just type it, it's REI Accelerator Summit. REI Accelerator Summit. Okay, jump in there. Literally, this is the first page, and then what happens after you click to reserve your spot, it'll take you over to the deposit. It's $47, fully refundable if you come both days. Okay. So when we see that you're there the second day and you're in playing full out with us, we'll refund it. This is not about collecting money for us, not at all. Like the money side of it, if you literally looked at real estate income versus what we make an income from stuff like this, you would see that real estate's a dominant force. It is 100%. This is about you. This is you and your accountability. So $47 is your accountability. I want to keep you in momentum, okay? Because I know that if I get you to that point where you're crushing it, you're probably going to want to work with our team at some point. So let's get you crushing it. Let's keep you going, okay? So that's there. Who's coming, by the way? Like, who already knows that they're going to be there? Let me know in the chat. If that's you, just type, that's me. If you're going to be there, let me know in the chat. Because I've got a little surprise. A little surprise. I'm going to do something that I was advised not to do, only because I'm trying to juggle time, balancing time. This whole move thing has been nuts. Okay, a lot of people already coming. Deborah, thanks for posting that. That's me. That's me. Okay, Anne-Marie's, all right, Anne-Marie, cool. And Anne-Marie, I heard you got a deal to review, and I'm thinking tomorrow during VIP, we can look at that together. Cool, that's me. Deborah's coming, Heather's coming, Shannon's coming. Okay, cool, we got a party next week. By the way, the challenge isn't over. The challenge is going through Saturday. We're going through Saturday. We're gonna finish the week strong. I just know that I need a little overtime with you guys. I know that I need to really push to continue that momentum so you get to the spot where you close, especially the first one. That first deal, it is like pushing the snowball up a mountain. Like the higher you get on the mountain, the snowball gets bigger, so it's heavier. But the moment that we get to the top and we start to crest that mountain and it comes down the other side and gravity's pulling and momentum is truly there, the game changes. So I got to help push, okay? So we're going to push a little more, okay? I have a special bonus that's going to be applicable from now until midnight tomorrow. From now until midnight tomorrow, that those that sign up to come next week, one of the homework items I'm going to give you today is to pick a niche Facebook group and give it a headline. And you submit that to our team. We'll provide a form for it later or sometime tomorrow. But you submit that headline to our team, in myself or Kate or someone else really high up, probably me. I'm going to go through as many as I possibly can. We'll review it and we will give personal feedback on it. Because the name of the niche group is really important to filling the group. If it looks like a boring group, when people look at the headline, they're not going to join it. You're not going to get traction. But if it looks like it's got a little pizzazz to the niche, like it's, remember when we were doing marketing for probate sellers, I asked the question, What keeps the probate seller up at night? What is it that they worry about? And we talked about the seller's stuff, mom and dad's stuff. We got to have an element of that in this headline. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to go through as many personally as I possibly can. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to end it tomorrow at midnight. So we'll send you the form for that tomorrow. You can still sign up for this event today. Put in your $47 deposit. It's just a deposit. And then get in there, get your spot. And then tomorrow at midnight, whoever did get in by midnight tomorrow, we'll send the links that you can submit your Facebook group niche to us and what you think the title should be. And we'll get you personal feedback on it. Okay? Cool. And then that offer is going to go away tomorrow at midnight because I got to get ready and make sure that we're totally good for this Accelerator Summit next week. So we'll end it after that. Okay. That's it for today, folks. We've been rocking it. You got homework? Let me get your homework. Let me get our homework file. You know what? I got it over here on this opposite screen. So I'm going to pull it back over to the right spot because the homework is pretty basic. It's pretty basic, but I want to make sure you got it. Okay. Day number 4. Homework day number 4. Prepare and publish one property brochure. Get that information published to 15 to 20 different spots. So I showed you Craigslist. I showed you Facebook Marketplace. You can make multiple posts in both of those. You got to change the headline each time. Got to change some of the details each time. But I want you to publish it. You can go in other Facebook groups. Those of you that join 15 to 20 groups, you can publish it there. But I want you to start publishing that property. Now, this implies that you've got the purchase option on a property. If you don't yet have that, you might have to go back to yesterday's homework and finish yesterday's. Okay? Finish yesterday's, and then you can do today's. Okay? That way there, you'll be in a good position for monetizing a deal because you're going to start to get buyers hitting it. And then tomorrow when we jump on, we can have fun connecting the buyer contract. All right, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging today, and thanks for surviving the tech issue and still coming to play full out. Like, there's still almost 40% of the people that have been on the last couple of days, even despite the tech issue. And I know a lot of people had to work this afternoon, so we'll get a lot of replays in, but I so appreciate you. I so appreciate that you're dedicating this time for your business because I know what's going to happen when we get to the other side. I know what happens in people's lives when they let this business actually be born and have a breakthrough. So God bless you guys. We'll see you all tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, Deborah says, does selling my parents' house count? Hey, Deborah, if you wholesale it and you treat them the way that they want to be treated and you make a profit, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So don't forget to do your homework. And then make sure you grab your spot for the REI Accelerator Summit, reiacceleratorsummit.com. In that comment, up in the comments of this post should be the link for that too. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. And by the way, I signed an office space lease temporarily till I get mine set up. So I will be on time tomorrow. Okay, thanks guys. God bless.